The toughest shot with a crossbow is the offhand standing shot. The best tips here are to keep your feet shoulder-width apart and perpendicular to or slightly quartering to your target for a nice stable base. Also, be sure to keep both elbows close to your body for maximum rock-solid crossbow support. Smooth like butter. When it comes time to shoot at a target or game animal, two of the most critical things you need to remember include proper trigger operation and proper shot follow-through. A crossbow trigger is squeezed, not pulled or jerked, which increases the chances of moving a bow during the shooting process and missing your shot. Finally, after your controlled trigger squeeze, remember to follow the path of your arrow through your scope rather than dropping your bow. Staying in your shooting position for a second or two after your shot is the type of follow-through that leads to consistent hunting accuracy. Pack like a pro. There are lots of variables when it comes to toting your crossbow afield while hunting, but safety is always the biggest concern. Let's consider two scenarios that should tell the tale. If you're on the way to your...
Hi, okay, my name is JaeLynn Marks, and I'm going to talk about my Discourse community, which is the outdoorsman community, so specifically hunting and fishing. So I just showed you an example of how to shoot a crossbow, which is something we use to shoot deer, sometimes turkey. And then I have two examples of fishing gear here. So this is moontail jigs, and then these are Texas rigs, and I just wanted to show an example and then also use some jargon from that community. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the 6 main concepts. Another common public goal of the hunting community is to make and kill deer meat for venison. So venison is after the meat is processed and you have it either grounded or into fillets or whatever you're using it for. A common goal could also be to use your deer meat for venison to cook and eat, but that's not what we use it for. And then an additional common public goal would be to just be with your friends and to hang out with people or whatever. So like my father and I being a part of the sportsman club in our hometown, we do that mainly just to go out and see the guys, be with my grandfather, and just have a good time. So the second main concept of my Discourse community would be the communication upon members. So there's actually quite a few ways you can communicate in the hunting and fishing community. So if you're fishing, a good way to communicate is just simply talking or through text message if you're together. Or you can also be on the Ohio Hunt Fish app, which is what I like to use to share my catches. So additional information about the Ohio Hunt Fish app is it's just an app you download on your phone. You can have your license for hunting or fishing just listed right there. And then you can also post what you kill or what you catch. So I'm more into fishing than I am hunting. So I don't post what I kill on there, but I just post what I catch. And it's also a really good way to see like where to go hunting, where to go fishing, how to get your license. And it's just a really good way to communicate with people around America who hunt and fish. Another way for communication upon members, specifically with hunting, when you're out hunting, you're normally sitting in the grass or in a stand, and you really can't talk at all. So you can either whisper or you can text. So that's like a really common way nowadays. But to communicate with members that you aren't hunting directly with would be to post and send pictures on social media, or again with the Ohio Hunt Fish app. Okay, so the third concept we're going to talk about is the Lexis, or also known in our class as jargon. Hunting and fishing, the outdoors community, they have a lot of different words or concepts that people outside of the community would not understand. So like, for example, when I spoke about the moontail jigs or the Texas jigs or rigs or whatever you want to call them, a lot of people would have no idea what I'm talking about. Or if I talk about a catfish pole, or if I talk about a 10-point buck or a doe, those are all different types of jargon and a part of the Lexis of the entire community. So I really enjoy using the different jargon, especially when I'm with my friends. They don't know what I'm talking about, and it's really funny and comical to like confuse them. Fishing, I would say, has a lot more jargon than hunting. And the only reason for that is because fishing, you have lots and lots and lots of different types of baits you can use. So you can use night crawlers, which is just the typical worm, which is a live bait, or like the examples I showed earlier, I'll insert a picture. They are not live bait, and they are very different types. There's also different types of poles you can use, different types of water, different types of fish. You have freshwater and saltwater. You can fish off a boat, you can fish off a dock, you can fish in knee-high water. So there's a lot of different jargon when it comes to fishing. Hunting, there's also a lot of jargon, but nothing compared to fishing. I'd say about a third of it. Fishing can get very confusing if you're new. And then you also, when you're fishing, have to learn how to like tie the knot and stuff, which is not a typical knot. It's a fisherman's knot. So you also have to learn those types of things. But with hunting, you just really have to know crossbow, the different brands, the different types of camo you wear, and just things like that. Okay, so this is a type of camo you could wear. This is called a thermal camo. So as you can see, it's just camo on the outside. The brand is Mossy Oak, and then the inside is thermal, so it keeps me warm. This could be used for deer hunting if you're in a stand, but not on the ground. And then you could also use this for turkey or other types of bird hunting. Okay, so the fourth main concept we're going to talk about is giving feedback within the community. So in my case, I have my dad, my brother, my 4 male cousins, and my grandfather who all hunt. And then I also have a lot of guy friends back home that also fish and hunt. So that is really how I get my feedback. I get feedback through my loved ones and my friends. They kind of tell me what I did good that day, what I did bad, how big my deer and my turkey are, how nice my fish is, which I'm really good at catching fish, so they really compliment me on that. But feedback can be given in a lot of different ways in this community. So like an example I talked about for communication, the Ohio Hunt Fish app. That's probably the best way to get feedback within others from the community that you don't know. So for example, when I was in Florida, I caught a 9.5-pound bass. That is like extremely rare, very unheard of. And the first thing I wanted to do was post it to this app because I knew a lot of people that I didn't even know from across the country were just going to tell me how big this fish was and how awesome I did. And they gave me, and I did post it, and the feedback was just phenomenal, and the people were great, and it was really nice to have that feedback. Now, when I shot a doe a few years back, she wasn't too big, and then I kind of shot her in an awkward spot, so my dad posted it to the Ohio Hunt Fish app, and people could kind of correct me, tell me where I should aim, what kind of arrow to use with that bow. So it's a really good tool to use, and I really enjoy using that app. The last source of feedback I'm going to talk about is social media. So one that I'm really fond of and my dad uses a lot is Facebook. So just whenever you get a big fish or a nice deer, posting on Facebook, and people, kind of like the Ohio Hunt Fish app, they correct you and tell you and hype you up and just how nice you did with those. So the fifth topic or main concept we're going to talk about is intercommunication within the members. So this kind of goes along with the jargon and with the communication upon members, but the biggest one I'm going to talk about now would be technology. Technology is a really, really big aspect, like I just talked about. It gives you a lot of good feedback, and it really helps you improve on your fishing and your hunting game. Okay, so the last main concept, or the sixth one that I'm going to talk about, is the different expertise levels. So there are definitely different levels of expertise within this community. So for example, you have a rookie, and then you have someone who's starting to get the hang of it, someone that's close to expert but isn't exactly there, and then you definitely have the experts. So I consider my grandpa definitely an expert with hunting and fishing. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for years. Whenever I shoot a deer or something that I need help with, he's the first person I call. So he would definitely be at expert level. Okay, so continuing on expertise levels, I would consider myself still at like a rookie with hunting, and then I'd consider myself like almost an expert with fishing. I've been fishing since I was really little, so almost 20 years now. And I do it literally constantly, like year round, ice fishing and everything, going to Florida and stuff. So I would definitely consider myself at an expert level for fishing, but I'm still pretty new when it comes to hunting. So I would kind of consider myself still at that rookie level. My brother, I would consider a little bit under me for fishing. He hasn't been fishing as long, and he doesn't enjoy it as much as I do. So I wouldn't say he's an expert with fishing, but I would also, with hunting, consider him a rookie, but he's still higher than me. And then my dad, I would say he's not quite at my grandpa's level for that type of stuff, but he's definitely higher than me. So I consider him right in the middle. He knows what he's doing. He's still independent and can go out alone. Unlike myself, I need someone there with me. But my dad also can use the help from his dad, my grandfather, and different aspects like that.